Hi there, it's Dana. Welcome to this week's edition of 411 911. I'm sitting here today with Jill. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Jill has been here forever.
Before child labor laws.
Yes, thank God. She is our dispatcher extraordinaire. She knows everything, so this is going to be great. Today we're going to be talking about civil issues and how it affects with 911, non-emergency, and all that. So, what is the difference between a civil issue and, say, a criminal issue?
So with our part, a lot of it's kind of difficult sometimes because a civil issue or any kind of issue that you have that you call the police department might be part civil and might be part criminal. Sometimes there's a fine line in between what creates a civil versus a criminal. So for us, though, when we talk about civil and strictly civil cases, we're talking more of it's disputes about money or about property versus a criminal for us, not always, but for the most part, it's you're going to jail or there's breaking of laws and crimes.
Okay. So would you be able to give us an example of, say, a civil issue?
Sure. For us, the most that we deal with on our civil, the phone calls that we get a lot are going to be on landlord-tenant disputes. It's going to be disputes about the property line. It's going to be people who want money back from an employee or a business. They feel that they didn't give them back the correct change,
Okay.
or they want to exchange something. And we have a lot with the child custody issues.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Those are huge.
All right. What can and can't the Sacramento Police Department do when it comes to all of these civil issues?
So when it comes to most of it, it's we don't tell a business what to do. We can't go in and tell the employee to cash out their cash drawer, count their money to decide whether or not they've overpaid or underpaid the person at all. We don't tell any kind of business how to run their business. So we also have to follow any kind of legal document, whether it's between the landlord tenant disputes,
Okay.
or if it's a child custody issue. There should be something in writing from a court of law and from the judge that tells us what to follow and how to do it.
Okay. So let's just give an example. Say the father of my child and I break up, and he takes the kids. So he's got the kids. Are you telling me that I couldn't just go and say, take my kids, or I couldn't call you guys, maybe is a better question, to have you help me go and get my kids back without having some type of a document from a judge?
So you can always call us and we will help you and we'll determine like who is going to be the best person. So a lot of times we might refer you to someone else. But in these cases, you have to have paperwork from the judge to say when you have the children, what day, what time. We need it to be pretty specific usually. We don't determine, if there's no paperwork, we're not going to determine which person should have the child, which one shouldn't, where they stay for the night, how long they stay. So we really need the judge to go over that. And we need you to do certain things also we want you to go and try to exchange the child on your own. You can do that without our help. As long as things aren't hostile and volatile, go ahead and exchange the children. We don't need to be there. So you also, if you do need our help in that, you have to have that paperwork with you. We're not going to take somebody's word of, well, oh, I have the paperwork, it's at home, and this is what it says.
Okay.
We need to see the paperwork because that's what we're going to follow. If it says you don't pick up the children till 5, we're not having you pick up the children before 5 o'clock. We need you to be a block to 2 blocks away.
So if I knock on the door, say, and the father doesn't answer the door, and I can't hear anything, but I know that they're in there. I know they're in there. I can't hear them. The car's not there or anything, but I know that they're in there. Can I call you guys and you guys will still come?
Those are kind of difficult because if they're not there, his car is not there, you don't hear anything inside the house. If he's not answering the door for you, they're more than likely not going to answer the door for us.
So I would need to make sure, like I would need to hear them and need to make sure that they're there.
I would say yes, because I don't want to have you waste your time by waiting out there for an hour or two for us to get out there.
Okay.
Just for us to knock on an empty door. So
Okay.
if you know they're not there,
That makes sense.
then let's not go out, because again, our big thing is I don't want to waste your time.
Okay, that makes sense. So then, like, for another example, like landlord tenant type thing, or even let's say that I'm a nice family member and I allow my brother to stay with us, and he's been there for, I don't know, a couple months or whatever. He's not on any lease. He doesn't pay rent or anything like that. Oh, he upsets me, and I go ahead and and I kick him out. I can do that, right?
So once people have been staying there, you can't just kick them out that one day. So you have to give them some kind of notice at sometimes, and it depends on the situation though too. If they're giving you money, if they're contributing to the household, there's different situations, and those are really tricky. Everything kind of depends on a different little thing that's going on.
Okay.
And those are perfect ones to call us. Again, you can call the non-emergency line. We can discuss, we can find out exactly where it's fitting.
Okay.
Because one little thing might change the situation and make it a whole different situation.
Okay. So when it comes to all of these civil issues that we've been discussing, what would my options be within regards to handling these civil issues? Like, who would I call or contact?
So that's a great question, and again, that's another reason to call a non-emergency line. We can always help you with that. That's not a problem. Depending on what the situation is, you have different options. Like you have the small claims court, you have a mediation, consumer affairs, legal affairs, Better Business Bureau. So we can always try to hook you up into the right path that you need to go.
Okay.
So we'll try to help you as best as we can to get you on the right, direction.
Okay. That sounds good. And we're going to also post after this is over some of those phone numbers and websites
Perfect.
to help you guys out. Also, if you have any questions regarding today's episode, which you probably will, please feel free to write in and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. I would like to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Because this is a very big topic. It's so big that it's, part one of a 3-part series. So next week, I believe we're going to be talking with Kelly. And she's going to be talking about like the landlord, tenant, roommate situations into more detail than what we got on today.
Yeah.
The part after that, I believe, is going to be on this whole entire civil dispute within regards to custody issues. So please join us next week, and we will see you then. Okay? Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.